Hello, and welcome to the Chartered Accountants Global Update, the audio newsletter from Chartered Accountants Worldwide, keeping you connected to the people, events, and ideas shaping our profession. This is episode 37. We've got 3 things for you today. First, a remarkable story of purpose-driven accountancy. A chartered accountant who is quite literally helping to feed a nation in rural Mozambique. Then details on an important upcoming conference for the Indian chartered accountancy community here in the UK. And finally, a challenge that's hard to ignore. What finance teams actually need to do right now if they want to stay relevant. Let's get into it. Our first story comes from the Difference Makers Discuss series, and this one is genuinely worth stopping to think about. Manuel Rodrigues is a chartered accountant from South Africa and the co-founder and driving force behind EDP Mozambique, a social enterprise operating in the Tate province in rural Mozambique. The scale of what EDP has built is striking. The organization works with over 55,000 maize farmers and 14,000 soya farmers. It runs 11 retail stores, a commercial hatchery, and a distribution network. And Manuel describes the way it all fits together as a microeconomy flywheel, where each part of the system strengthens the others. The hatchery produces day-old chicks. Farmers raise them under EDP's guidance. Feed is produced from the maize and soya those same farmers grow. And the whole thing creates income, nutrition, and economic resilience for communities that previously had very little of any of those things. What makes Manuel's story particularly interesting for our audience is how explicitly he connects his chartered accountancy training to the ability to build and manage something this complex. It's not a background detail. It's foundational to how he thinks about systems, sustainability, and long-term value. Manuel will be joining host Sinead Donovan for a live Difference Makers Discuss session on the 16th of April. That's today, actually, at 6 p.m. British Summer Time. It's free to attend, and you can register via the Chartered Accountants Worldwide website. If you're listening to this after the event, keep an eye out for the recording. This is one well worth your time. Our second item is an event coming up very soon. The Institute of Chartered Accountants India's UK Annual Conference, taking place on the 25th of April at the Hilton Metropole in London. For those who may not be familiar, ICAI UK is the UK chapter of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. It was established in 2001 and has grown to more than 650 members, making it the largest organised professional body of Indian finance professionals in the UK. The membership spans industry, audit and consulting, and many of the UK's largest organisations rely on their expertise. This year's conference is shaping up to be a substantial gathering, with over 300 senior finance professionals expected, including representation from Deloitte, HSBC, Rolls-Royce, Shell, and the Hinduja Group, alongside CFOs, Big Four partners, and senior bankers. The agenda covers a broad range of themes: technology and AI, ESG, mergers and acquisitions, cross-border investing, and diversity within the profession. There's also a dedicated 30-minute panel discussion focused on chartered accountancy bodies and the CAW network, looking at institutional vision and member engagement in the UK context. Speakers include Lord Karan Bilamoria, who will be addressing UK India trade, and Anand Rathi, former chairman of a major Indian stock exchange, travelling from India for the event. If you're based in the UK and working in or around the Indian chartered accountancy community, this is a strong opportunity for CPD and connection. Full registration details are available on the Chartered Accountants Worldwide events page. And finally, something a bit more challenging, but important. Chartered Accountants Worldwide recently published a piece on the Knowledge Hub with a title that doesn't pull any punches. Evolve or Risk Irrelevance: What Finance Teams Must Do Now to Stay Ahead. It's a thought-provoking read, and it draws on research from Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand to make the case that finance professionals can no longer rely on traditional technical competencies alone. The pressure is coming from several directions at once: rapid advances in AI and automation, the growing demand for ESG integration, regulatory complexity, and demographic shifts in the workforce. On technology, the article is clear. Organizations that don't embrace AI risk losing relevance. That's not a prediction about some distant future. It's a description of what's already underway. Automating repetitive transactional work frees finance professionals to focus on scenario planning, strategic consulting, and the kind of judgment-based work that AI genuinely can't replace. But that shift requires deliberate reskilling. The article also pushes back on the idea that success means optimizing for short-term financial metrics. It argues that finance teams need to move towards a multi-capital mindset, one that accounts for environmental, social, and human capital alongside the purely financial. And it suggests that the CFO role itself is evolving into something closer to a chief value officer, overseeing both financial performance and broader ESG outcomes. There's also a pointed message about talent. Attracting the next generation of finance professionals increasingly requires offering purpose-driven work and genuine innovation, not just competitive salaries. It's a lot to take on board, and not all of it will apply equally to every context. But the central message is hard to argue with. Standing still is not a neutral option. The full article is available on the Chartered Accountants Worldwide Knowledge Hub, and it's worth a read. That's everything for episode 37 of the Chartered Accountants Global Update. To recap, the Difference Makers Discuss session with Manuel Rodrigues is live today. Register or find the recording at charteredaccountantsworldwide.com. The ICAI UK Annual Conference takes place on the 25th of April in London. And the Evolve or Risk Irrelevance article is on the Knowledge Hub now. Thanks for listening. We'll be back with more shortly.